Hello and welcome to Tome of Uselessness. I'm Devin.
I'm Dan, and I just wanted to say before we continue, I do have a correction. In our last episode, we were talking about the Super Bowl, and I said it was the Chargers and the Patriots. Turned out it was the Patriots and the Rams.
I don't think it matters.
I know people come to our channel for our NFL knowledge. I just wanted to correct that.
The football cast.
Yeah, that's right. Anyway.
That would be like, which team is this, Dan? Which one's the gold team? Which one's the black team? Which one?
Yeah. Minor correction.
Why are they stopping again?
Because it's the NFL and they stop always.
Okay, well, today's episode is all about Ultimate Beastmaster, which is available on Netflix, specifically season 3.
Yeah, I was going to ask, did you watch 1 and 2 then? Yeah.
I watched all of it because I love Ultimate Beastmaster and I love American Ninja Warrior. I'm like into it.
You're into it?
And I had to convince Dan hard to watch it.
Yeah, no, I have not season 1 and 2. Season 3 came out in August of 2018. And
oh, is that when it came out? I just noticed it the other day. I haven't been on Netflix this much.
Yeah, that's what according to the website said. So
the first season, the host was Terry Crews.
Yeah. I was reading that.
And it was, I don't know if the two others were, but the first season was produced by Sylvester Stallone.
He still produces it, but he doesn't like show up anymore. I heard that he showed up in the season 1 and
yeah, like once.
Oh, okay.
Like they filmed him before they filmed anything else. There's no one else around him, and he's like, I'm Steven Stallone, or whatever his name is.
Sly Stallone. No, because if you go to the website about Ultimate Beastmaster, he's got like a message there, because like that's where you can go to like apply. And I didn't click on it, but I assume it's like, this is what you need to do to be the Beastmaster. So he's still like,
gotta win.
Yeah, he's still there, but basic premise is, like Devin was saying, it's an obstacle course and they get a bunch of people to run them, but the main twist in this version is that it's international competition. And
which I love. And there's international. Yeah, I love the judges so much.
Yeah.
The Brazilian ones and the German ones are my favorite.
Yeah, they're pretty good. And that's the kind of it's neat because then when they localize those versions for whatever region, they get those commentators with the other people flashed in, whereas of course being a North American audience we get the American guys, but then we get flashes from the other announcers and stuff like that, and that's what makes it kind of funny. Plus they're all like in a semicircle area and they just walk to other people's booths all the time.
I know, it's so funny.
So I did like that kind of thing. It was some good interaction there with them.
There's a good camaraderie I found. Yeah. Here's the premise of Ultimate Beastmaster. It's an obstacle course.
I just said that.
Did you?
Yes, but let's continue.
I'm trying to schedule a tattoo.
Yeah.
Also, it was my birthday yesterday, so I'm allowed to fuck up this episode.
Whoa, easy.
And I got kitties for my birthday.
Quite true.
This is important things that our listeners need to know. Don't cut any of this out.
Okay.
Okay, so...
Or I'll cut everything out except for you saying don't cut this out.
Yeah, perfect. Don't cut this out.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's an obstacle course.
Yeah.
There's 3 stages.
Yes.
They start out with one person.
Yeah, they go one at a time, but there's 9 competitors per episode in this season.
Yeah, 1 from each country.
Yes. Which...
Or 2. 2 from each country.
Sometimes there was 2, sometimes there was 1, it seemed like, but...
Yeah, in seasons 1 and 2, I believe there's 2 from each country every...
Yeah, because there was 12 competitors I was reading, whereas this was 9.
They had less countries before, too.
Right. And well, then I was going to say, and I think it was because of the format that they did, which I actually did like, of like, if you win, you go to the semifinal, and then you can win your way to the final.
Yes.
And they did like a tournament round robin. I really liked it, actually, for that.
Yeah. They didn't do that in previous seasons.
That's what I was reading, yeah.
But this season was good. So it's a 3-part obstacle course.
Yeah.
And so...
And there's 4 obstacles per part, I believe. Sort of.
Oh, there's a fixed number?
Well, it's not. It sort of is, and it sort of isn't. Like, it depends on like what you count. Like,
it's
as per thing. Like, I wrote it all down what they do. So.
Okay, so the 9 compete.
Yeah.
And then the 6 go to round 2, and then 4 go to round 3. Correct?
I thought it was. There wasn't. I thought it was only in the last rounds where there was like the pure eliminations. Or no, yeah.
No, then the bottom 3 get booted.
Right.
And then the bottom 2 from the next round get booted, and then it's 4, and then the top person, or the top 2 people go to
top 2.
Yeah, go to the semis.
Yeah.
That's right, because that American guy that had MS, he made it kind of because he was in a good group.
I got comments about that guy. No. Yeah.
I mean, I thought it was cool that he was competing
absolutely
with MS. That he had...
he made it really far and did well, but I think it was... he squeaked by a couple times.
Yeah, there was definitely... In the semifinals, I think it was when he didn't opt to try again. I was kind of like, oh. But he might have been tired, too.
I believe he was tired. I mean...
But I mean, like, he might
someone else should have gotten past it.
Yeah, okay.
It was a weak sauce.
So that's how it starts. And then the semifinals, they had to run all 3 rounds.
Yeah, normally after they do a round, there's
they
a pause.
take a break.
Yeah, they break, other people do. And then, but in round... the semifinals, like I was saying, it was like you just had to go.
You just had to go.
As far as you could go.
As far as you could go. Yeah. And the top ones, the top scorers / people who went the furthest / best time went to the next round.
Yeah. And
then the finals, they did it again, didn't they?
Yeah, the finals was again, do all you can, and then if you... no, the finals, they broke it back down but then there was more eliminations in the finals because it was already down to like 6 people or whatever, or 9. It was maybe it was 9 again. Yeah. They just cut people like more. They just cut them like cut.
Yeah,
and then they got to the top 3.
Yeah, and the top 3 do this crazy elevation or whatever it's called.
Yeah, it not only goes horizontal, it goes way high.
Yeah. So, did you enjoy it overall?
Yes, I did. But here's the thing: is I do enjoy obstacle course shows, like the original Ninja Warrior, which I believe was called Sasuke or whatever kind of thing, and then like they had another show, the Unbeatable Banzuke, which was a Japanese one, of course, as well.
Yeah.
And then I think my main problem is that when things get moved to the West, especially Americanized versions, they edit it so annoyingly to me, and then everyone's got to have a story, and they make everybody play up like how their personality is wacky and whatever, and it's like, dude, just run the course, man.
Yeah,
all of that.
One thing that I noticed that if they didn't show their backstory in the first round, that means they're making it to the second round.
No, but sometimes it would be sometimes they would, or something. So they have this huge backstory of a dude, and then he immediately fails, and you're like, what the heck? Why even pat it out, man? Just cut that guy. He failed. I don't know. So that's the kind of the thing where I'm more annoyed about. Yeah. And that's what turns me off more. It's not the course itself and then doing cool stuff. It's just more all the sensationalized crap around it.
But man, I love watching. This is gonna sound so weird, but they all wear like leggings and tank tops they're
wearing almost like gymnast outfits. Yeah. Essentially, yeah.
And I love watching the way people's muscles work. Like being able to see like the flexing and the whatever, right? And just like some of them, like you can see every muscle. It's like they don't even have skin. It's just muscle. Yeah. It's amazing. I love seeing that kind of stuff. And I love seeing stuff like the German guy who made it to the finals.
Yes.
Where he just he just looks like a little wiener, but then he's like doing all this stuff like it's no problem.
Yeah, he was a parkour climber guy, basically. Was his background.
Yeah, I forgot what he did. Yeah, because it was spoilers.
We haven't got there yet. No.
Okay. What did you want to talk about then?
Well, I guess let's talk about the course.
Yeah.
Right.
The course.
So they built this big superstructure.
Hard.
Yeah, well, they built a big superstructure that looks like some kind of like dinosaur dragon to like.
It's the beast.
It's the beast. I was getting to that part. And then people go in through the mouth, and then they do some stuff, and there's some theme in some of the obstacles, but other things it's literally just it's like hyper jump, and you're like that has nothing to do with anything. Yeah. Then they have the digestive tract or whatever.
In the first and second season,
it was more.
There were more kind of body themed stuff. So there was Actually, I'm really glad they took out these 2 obstacles.
Because they brought up the one that was like the ribs on the one side.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But I'm glad they took out these 2 obstacles. It was spinal ascension and spinal descension. So spinal ascension were essentially platforms that moved up and down, and you had to jump up, and there was, I think it was an 8-foot jump between each of them at the smallest.
Right.
And you had to jump all the way up, and then the spinal descension was like a mess of bungee cords that you had to go through back down.
Oh.
And then that led you to, what are the spinning ones called?
They didn't have the spinning ones in here. I saw they showed a clip of it in the season 3 at some point, but they didn't.
So they have these like spinning cogs that you had to jump from one to the other to get to digestive tract.
Right.
But I didn't love those ones because it was jumping straight up, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't like on an angle forward like with the power.
Yeah, it was just straight vertical jump.
Yeah, it was definitely like taller contestants always did it, and shorter contestants didn't.
Of course, yeah.
But and then spinal descension, nobody fucked up on that one. It just looked so easy compared to the rest of it. So I'm glad they got rid of those 2.
Mm-hmm. Well, in this one, so they started with, they called it lockjaw. It was like a metal 8-inch beam that you went up.
Yeah.
And then it went to the gearhead jump, which was hilarious because it was a big gear, and then it swung on a pendulum, and then you had to use, it was a 6-foot jump, I believe, the pendulum.
Yeah.
Jump at the
to
peak.
the next one.
To the next. No, well, and then.
Like you jump on
onto
one,
the peak.
and then you jump to the next one, and then you jump on the peak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the one that you jump on is the first one is stationary.
That's right. Sorry.
Jump off of it, but. I was so shocked at how many people failed at the gearhead jump.
Oh man,
shockingly amount of people.
I think I would have, but
I'm not saying I'm gonna get out there because like the one episode where the host guy tried it, which I love.
Oh my god, it was so good.
Because the Brazilian team failed that one a lot. So he literally stripped down, he's wearing the outfit, and he gets on there, and then he missed the jump, and he's like, "It's still easy," which I liked. But shocking amount of people failing that jump. It was just like a missed time, and then
I think it was. I think it was a lot of it was overconfidence.
I think that as well. They were already past it in their brain.
Yeah, and then mistiming, and then I think some of it like with the female contestants that can't make it. I think it was more like a height thing.
It's possible because I mean there was some short dudes.
There was like a 5'4" girl trying to do it, but
there was those 2 champion climbers who failed it in the same episode.
Yeah,
and I was like, holy jeez, guys.
The Korean and the Brazilian, right?
Yeah.
And the past 2 seasons were run by a Korean climber and a Brazilian climber.
Yeah.
So
sailed it. Yeah.
Yeah, and they failed so spectacularly.
Yeah.
Like the one guy, it looked like he jumped when it was like the furthest back
it was starting his backswing, and it was like, dude, just wait another rotation, guy.
Yeah, like just chill, chill.
And then so they went from there to something they called faceplant, where they had to hold themselves, and it kind of pushed them forward, which I thought was kind of neat.
So in previous seasons, that is where most people failed.
Really?
I think they changed the chain because...
No, I'm not even talking about the jump to the chain part. I'm just talking literally
the jump to the chain.
Yeah.
I've got ahead of you.
Sorry, that's okay.
Is where most people failed in previous...
A lot of people still failed.
But way more failed in season 1 and season 2, and I think it was because they didn't have any coating on the train.
I thought the coating made it worse.
Oh no, because almost out of 5 people, 3 people would fail on it.
Really?
Yeah. And they would you would watch them just slip right out, right? And their hands would be all cut up and stuff.
Yeah, see, because I was trying to remember if in the first episode they didn't have the chain coating, and then in the next episode they did, because the first guy who did go, he was like, oh man, I cut my hand on the chain. And no one complained about chain cuts later, and I was like...
Wasn't that was a pole dancer, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
the male pole dancer, which I thought was awesome.
Yeah, no, he was great. So then they had to jump to a chain, and I liked how they were it was like a jump to a chain to a platform thing, but the chain was offset from the platform.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just straight on. So I was like, oh, that was kind of hard. So you kind of had to
Wasn't it also a little bit offset from faceplant?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was like you had to jump out so you're right essentially, and then swing to this plat. And then they did a jump to, they called it hyper jump, but the platforms went up and down. You just had to jump to I think it was an 8-foot gap as well.
Yeah.
Then this is where there was changes. So those 3 things always were the same.
Yeah.
And then there was changes here because the first time it was parallel bars that also seesawed.
Oh, was that it?
In the first episode, which was kind of cool. That's where Max, he was the boulder climber guy.
Oh, when he smacked himself right in the chest.
Yeah, because they were getting swinging, and then he's just like, blam!
I was like, oh no!
Yeah, I thought he was done, but he held on.
He just kept going.
Yeah, just kept it going. So, and again, a lot of people failed. Not a lot of people, but some people failed there because they just didn't maintain the right momentum or what have you.
Right, yeah.
And then, they went to the mag wall, which pretty much always was there.
Yeah, so it's a climbing wall that holds that fall.
Yeah, they're magnetic and they fall after some period of time. It's random and etc. And I guess we should explain, so that's the level 1 of the course, and so people got points for doing, like completing a thing, you got 5 points.
Yeah.
But then there was mega thrusters, they called them.
Yeah.
Or just point thrusters. Then mega thrusters for extra points. So if there was a tie, then your time would matter.
Yeah.
Right.
So the point thrusters.
Yeah, were like 10 points usually a piece.
Yeah. And in the original season, I'm so glad they changed it. They were actual like
handles. Yeah,
handles that you
pull something. And I was like, what is that?
But like the buttons make way more sense.
Yeah, because especially some of them are like weird angles and people have to hit them with their feet.
Yeah. Yeah, like in round 2, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's
So, and that was kind of, at least there was some separation there because there was many times where, say, 3 contestants all failed on the same obstacle, it would come down to their time. And sometimes it would literally be only a second because they both, like, did the same pace, but one guy was, like,
just a little bit faster.
Yeah, so.
Well, it was like that other Australian guy, that was, I think, on round 2, the guy with the colorful dreads.
Yeah.
Where...
I honestly thought he wasn't that far, but
no, he did really well, right?
Yeah.
But he kind of celebrated a bit because he did something that he hadn't been able to do previously.
That's right, yeah.
But then he ended up like 20 seconds behind someone else.
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
It almost cost him for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So that was level 1, and then there was like we were saying, people fall, people make it, and the mods to level 1 were further down. There was something called let's see. I know there was one.
There was
willpower. Oh yeah, willpower. That's what
was that the gear one?
No, that was later.
That's later.
Yeah,
okay.
it is later as well. But that was a mod for level 1.
Willpower, was that the one where they had to?
No, it was like this big thing, and almost looked like an egg beater, and then you had to like turn it, and the bars were also hinged, so they would come down. A lot of people failed that one.
Oh yeah, that one was really hard.
Yeah, a lot of people failed that one as well.
Am I getting mixed up? Wasn't there a trapeze one too? That you had to go from the trapeze to the, or was that round 2? No, was that the semifinals? Where they had to go from the trapeze to the unstable bungee platform.
Like a big, that was Crash Pad, which I also have written down.
Oh,
yes.
sorry.
No, that was also a mod in level 1.
In level 1, yeah. Where they like started on a trapeze, didn't they? And then they...
Well, like on a bar
or something, yeah. And then they had to... And that was so hard because you're jumping down.
Yeah,
okay.
You're dropping like probably 8 feet-ish.
Yeah, and it's like
an oval.
The size of a surfboard.
Yeah, basically.
That's being held up by bungee cords.
Yes.
So as soon as you touch it, it starts to move. And they had to jump down onto them and then hold on for dear life.
Balance themselves. And
then they had to jump to another one.
Yes.
So they had to...
And then jump off it to the final platform.
Yeah. Can you imagine what kind of core strength that takes to not just fucking flip right off?
Yeah, my note beside Crash Pad, a lot of failure.
Oh my god, so much failure. And it's so deceiving because it looks like it should be easy, right?
Yes.
You look at that compared to like faceplant to chain reaction and you're like, oh yeah, I got this. I'm gonna just land on this little surfboard. But no, it's bad. It's hard.
Yeah, and then then there was other mods like Devin was saying, the gear one. So there was these rotating gears, it was like a rotating gear with handles. But then you could grab some of them and they might drop down a little bit.
Oh no, I wasn't. That is one of them.
Oh, sorry, yes.
But no, I was thinking of, I think it was from the semifinals now that I'm thinking about it, but they look like big gears that they hold on. They have to swing to the next one and
that was in the second set of people. It was called Deadbolts.
Yeah, Deadbolts. That looks hard.
Apparently that came from a previous season.
I remember them.
Yeah, and they're just big giant hexagonal gears.
And you hold on and then you swing and you have to swing off it and fly like 6 feet speed in the air and catch the next one, but the next one's on an angle.
The last two on an angle were definitely hard on people.
And your arms are probably just dying at that point.
Two people made it, I think. But let's move on to some level 2 stuff.
Yeah,
here.
sounds good.
So they had, I forget what they called it, but you had to jump on a trampoline and then onto a platform.
Oh, yeah. It was called... I don't remember
either. But what's funny to me was when someone, like, there was that Olympic pole vaulter who, ex-gymnast, and she failed on that. And she just, like, soared right past it.
You know what else was sad? Was when that girl missed it.
Yeah, bounced back,
and then made it, and then they were like, that's disqualified.
Yeah, well, and that was one of the things with the show. There was some rules stuff that's not explained until it, like, came up, and you were like, oh, because some of the people, especially in the next coming up in a thing, so they had to get on that, and then there was it was called drop point. They had to jump down 10 feet or so onto a big thing that was on the water. Everyone made it pretty good there. It was just more like, hey, make the accuracy of the jump. Then there was the digestive track, which was like a fiberglass tube, but it had 2 grip strip marks, but it was small.
Yeah.
Like, so people had to crawl up it, and it starts sinking when you go into it, and then you had to make a jump from there onto a set of, like, a treadmill.
Yeah, the treadmills.
Yeah, the treadmills, and here's where the rule thing...
hang on 1 second.
Okay, sure.
It used to sink a lot faster.
Oh, you think? Yeah.
Tons of people would get stuck in it.
Really?
Like it would sink and they would be in there still. So I think they slowed it down a bit.
Yeah, because it was still a difficult-ish enough obstacle. It led to a secondary, like, the faster you could do it, the better positioned you were. Mm-hmm. So definitely, like, it played into it that it was like, it was good that I think only one person failed in the digestive track itself.
Yes.
I think over the entire course of the season, maybe 2. I definitely remember 1.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that wasn't, because it was the jump and then the hit the treadmill where most people failed.
Yeah.
Because this treadmill is going opposite.
Oh my god, that would be so hard. Like, oh, by the way, you have to, like, you have nowhere to jump from. You have nowhere to run to do the jump.
That's right. They only had like a 2-foot-ish, maybe a 1-foot-ish thing to jump off of.
Yeah, they have like a ledge.
Yeah, a small ledge to make this jump onto a treadmill that's angled against you and going
I don't
off
think
direction.
it was even a foot, because some of their feet are like bigger than the ledge.
Yeah, that's what I'm guessing here.
Yeah.
So then there was two treadmills, and then they had to get up onto that, where it was also really tough, get to the second one, and then make an 8-foot jump to the next platform. It was on an angle with
and
nice
it was
foam.
an angle. It wasn't even like you'd land flat. Yeah.
So many people face plant and fall spectacularly.
Oh my
on that
watching
one.
it, some of the and I was like, oh my god, he's not gonna come up from the water. He just knocked himself out.
Just down.
Like, I don't know. I almost feel like we should make a video of me watching Ultimate, because I like gasp.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'll be like, no.
Then what was after the...
Sorry, did you have a question about the rules there, you were saying?
Well, I was just saying, because some of them, they were on there, and then, I guess they weren't allowed to use the black parts of the things. But then even,
and
the guy could, it's like you could just get your leg up onto the blue part and then hold up on the other part and then kind of just, waddle your way up, but they would still all be, battling the treadmill, and I'm like, what are you doing, man? Just get your leg up.
Yeah, no, I think...
And I guess, again, you're not thinking in the moment, but still.
And then some of them are heavier, and they could just stop the treadmill.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, so it was, like I said, there was some unexplained rule stuff, because I have a question about that coming up as well.
The rule was that they couldn't touch the black stuff, and they couldn't have all 4 limbs in the water.
That's right.
In the blood of the beast.
In the blood of the beast. That's yes.
So anyways, so they make the jump.
Yeah.
And then it was the monkey bars that fell down next, right?
Not always.
Oh, okay.
But it was, I don't think so, but it was definitely that a lot. I have, falling bars here.
Yeah.
Which was the monkey bars that were 3 feet apart.
Yes.
And then they swung down after some time.
Yes. I liked the Mexican guy that just waited till it dropped so that he could get the point thruster.
No, well, that was the first time it was done. It was by accident by the one Aussie guy in the semis. I thought he was done, and he's just like, oh, held on.
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh, I got these points, and then I'll just move along.
Yeah.
And then the other guy did it after him.
Yeah. He's like, oh, that's a good strat.
Yeah, basically it was like, instead of worrying about the bar, which, okay, cool on them, they were just holding on to that bar.
So in previous seasons, I think in season 2, that was a chain one.
Oh, really?
And it was a bunch of chains that were all swinging, and you had to go across chain by chain.
Oh, okay.
And then they'd stop swinging, and people would lose momentum on them all the time and just get so fucked.
Yeah, well, they bring something similar to that in the second set of contestants as well, with a spinny chain. But they're rotating on. This was just like hanging chains. Okay, yeah.
No, they weren't swinging. That's right. They started swinging when they swung on them. But
and then you had to maintain. So you had to like basically Tarzan it.
Yeah.
To maintain your momentum, or at least not let go without having enough swing to continue on to the next.
Yeah.
That's pretty tough.
Yeah.
Because there's an element of that in the level 3, which I don't know what they call it. But it was literally
the bars?
No. They started on a treadmill, and they had to grab a rope or a chain. And
oh my gosh! Yeah.
Maintain momentum to get the next chain.
I can't remember what it was.
I don't remember what it was called either.
Okay, but anyways, is that a level 2? That was the last one, right?
Level 2.
Monkey bars.
There was something called. Oh, that was in the finals. Never mind. Yeah, I thought they had something else there for one episode, but maybe I'm misremembering.
I remember the spinny chain thing. Oh, the finals, they had the big...
Yeah.
That nobody could do.
Yeah.
He jumped one, but
he jumped one, but didn't finish the rest, yes. But yeah, then level 3... So again, like Devin was saying, they eliminate some people as you go. Like, the bottom person, you're done.
And then they're always like, so-and-so's on the bubble.
Yeah.
Will Brazil knock Korea out?
Yeah, they're always trying to dramatize it. Yeah. It's the best is when it's like, the person did nothing, like literally fell off the first one, and they're on the bubble. It's like, they did nothing. They're gonna get eliminated, yo.
Yeah. Oh, on a side note, I thought it was really cute that British guy, or no, he wasn't British. I think he was Scottish, but he was the MMA fighter.
The MMA guy, yeah. He was Scottish, yeah.
Yeah, he won a round on a broken ankle. Well,
he in his fighting career he did.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I thought that was really cute that his. Well, not cute, manly, whatever. That his idol was
Silva.
From the Brazilian commentators, and he came over to say good luck and stuff, which was really cute.
It was nice. I was like, that for an MMA guy, that'd be total hype. You just met Anderson Silva, one of the greatest MMA fighters.
Yeah, totally right.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
Anyways, a side note. Okay, so level 3.
Level 3, they start on a treadmill, and then they go onto a chain.
Yeah.
And then it runs along this circular track.
Yeah. And you can lose momentum on it, and there's point thrusters, so you have to balance out if you're going to hit the point thrusters, because it might lose your momentum, because if you randomly stop, which happened a lot more in season 1 and season 2.
Oh, really? They greased it up.
Fucked. Yeah.
Well, and I felt like in season 3, at least the season that I watched here, is that everyone who tried to go for a point booster, it screwed them over.
Oh, yeah. Badly.
It was just like, dude, don't even try it. Just maintain focus on getting the next. Except for there was the one season where the point thruster was between the two chains.
Yeah, that made it. That made
people
sense.
could grab the two chains, get the point thruster.
But it was almost like an Icarus thing. It was like, don't fly too close to the sun. Just go for it.
Yeah, absolutely. It totally messed them over, I felt like. So then, they had to maintain that momentum, switch onto another chain, which was also on a track. And so you had to have your momentum to swing to the... I forget again what they were called, but they were
bars.
They were bars, square bars, and they had to climb up it because they start sinking.
Yeah. And then from there they go into... What was that called? The ring one?
Yeah, again, it was like... It all had one name, and I forget now at the time.
So it's like a ring with bars attached to another ring.
Parallel bars, essentially.
Yeah, and that sinks.
Yeah, it all sinks until you get to the Viper climb, they called it.
Yes!
Which was 80 feet. Because here was, again, my question thing about the rules. No one used their leg on the Viper climb.
I don't think anyone could have gotten their leg up there.
I feel like the climbers could have.
Oh, maybe.
Because that's a classic climbing technique. You get a leg on there and you just shimmy along.
Maybe it was part of the rules that they were not.
That exactly, that we're not privy to.
I feel like maybe once they mentioned that they could only use their hands.
Okay. Yeah.
I might be making that up.
No, I might have missed it because everyone who's like they're like getting tired. I'm like, just get your leg up, get some rest, and then continue on.
Yeah. But yeah, you're basically it's a spiral going up.
Yeah.
80 feet, and you're just shimmying your arms around.
Yeah.
After you've just done that crazy chain thing, and then you climbed on some bars, and then you scurried your way through a hoop.
Yeah, there was a lot of previous forearm usage to get to this one, and plus it was sort of foamy and maybe 4 inches or so. Yeah. So it wasn't like you could like crimp on it hard or really get a good grip around it.
And then when
only
you
2 people did it.
Yeah, I know. And then when you got to the top, when you're like, oh yeah, I finally get a break. No. So then it was 2
pipeline. They called it
pipeline. Yeah. So it was 2 parallel bars.
Yeah.
That. Kind of start closer together and move their way out, or they started further out and moved closer.
No, they went a little further out.
And then the next ones went together.
No, there was only the one set.
Oh, wasn't there 2 sets?
No, they just had the one set because you climbed up it and then you had to onto a small climbing wall that you had to climb up the last few feet.
Maybe I'm thinking of other seasons.
It could be another season.
Yeah, so you have little handles that are attached to these bars and you just scoop all the way up.
Basically. to a climbing wall and then...
Yeah, so then you're like, finally I get a rest from my arms. It's like, no, now you have to climb this wall.
It didn't appear very tall though, the climbing wall, in all honesty.
Yeah, but I could see somebody, if a non-climber made it to that point, I could see them just falling off.
Of course, yeah.
But it was, no non-climbers. Did Mozzie make it?
Yeah.
Yeah, he made it.
I think he was one of the only few to make it.
That's probably why he got screwed over in the finals.
Well, they don't film it on the same day, right?
Yeah.
So, no. There's days in between.
No, they film, you can tell because the sun comes up sometimes.
No, I was saying because when they interviewed Max the one time, he's like, oh, I didn't sleep all that well last night, and that was between...
But in the... first set, rounds 1, 2, 3, they film all in the same night.
Yes, no, I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm just saying between when they have to do the semifinals and the finals. There's a break there.
Yeah, but even if it's one night, you're not repaired.
Well, no, yeah, because like you said, the Scotch guy kind of hurts his shoulder.
No, that was a different Aussie guy. The Scottish guy did.
Yeah, Scottish guy hurts his shoulder, but he still battled through the semis.
That's right. Yeah.
And so they still maintain their injuries essentially. Cause so they like we were saying, they did 2 separate sets. The guys to the semifinals. The main difference were there was something called Cage Row. What was that again? I don't remember.
Cage Row?
Oh, I think that was the one I was talking about where it was kind of rib cagey. It was and it was in round 1. That was where that one Mexican guy dislocated his shoulder.
Doing what? What was that one?
It was bars that were out more than shoulder length apart, and you were hanging there and needed to jump to another set of bars.
Oh yeah, you did.
And they were a little extended out, so you were already a little hyperextended, and then the one Mexican guy dislocated his shoulder on one.
Yeah, he got disqualified. Well, not disqualified, but eliminated. Yeah. Okay. And then there was that other one that had the bubbles.
That was in round 2. Yes, that was that's what we missed one. I wrote it down as Traverse, and I couldn't remember what it was called. So that was really cool. I like that one.
Yeah, you know what? When I was watching that, I'm like, oh damn, we're gonna kick out of this.
You know why I like that one? Because it was one of the things I was gonna say is this was it's a tough course, obviously. Yes. But there is so much forearm, shoulder, upper body strength stuff. Yes. That obviously appeals and helps to men and climbers and a particular type of athlete, whereas I wish there was a little more stuff, because some of the women, they all do the same course. Yeah. But no woman made it past round 2.
Yeah. So in season 2, one woman makes it to round 3.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, good for her.
Actually, I believe in season 1 too.
Oh, okay.
But the season 1 girl does not make it very far in round 3.
Yeah, okay. Well, but she made it there at least. So, like I said, it was just because everyone comes from different backgrounds and stuff like that. And so, like I said, there was definitely some, we just described the Viper climb after the one climb to the pipeline climb onto a wall climb. That's 3 climbs in a row, right? So I
feel like for most of the course, spinal digestive tract exception. If you're tall, lean, and a climber, you're probably going to do well.
Yeah.
If you're tall, lean, a climber, and you also do parkour, you'll probably win.
You probably do exceedingly well. Yeah, and then there
wasn't a lot of parkour kids compared to seasons 1 and 2.
Oh, no?
Yeah.
I think there was a few, but then many of them got eliminated early.
Yeah.
I think aside from
there
Max.
wasn't as much jumping as previous seasons.
Yeah, there was only a couple jumps, right? Or it was like usually a jump off of something that was difficult to get onto as it was.
Season 1 and 2, you know the part where they do the after phase plant when they jump onto those power
hyper jump.
Hyper jump?
Yeah.
In previous seasons, they had to make
like successive jumps?
3 jumps.
No, instead of just
and there was a power surger that was a 10-foot jump.
Oh, wow.
Or a point thruster.
Right.
That was a 10-foot jump. So you had to go over there, and then you had to jump back to the first one.
Oh.
And then, so a lot of parkour kids
could do that.
Yeah. Obviously did better on that one.
Sure. Well, and before we talk about the finals, did you want to talk about some of the contestants that made it?
Yes.
Okay. Or the semis were, like I said, I like the format, and then so the semis were 9 people again, or 6 people again?
I think it's 9.
I think it was 9 again. And so I like that. It was like, oh, you win your thing, go and you're battling against the better, because, yes, I feel like there were some heats where there were some better people than others. And I guess that was like a random draw.
For sure.
Because like the one American guy, not that I'm all like North America go, but the ginger kid with like the backwards hat, I think he would have killed it if he had made the finals, but he got eliminated in a tough semifinal.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because there was the Hector Mexican guy who was like, he was going to make it. He just cruised everything.
I thought he was going to win the whole thing, honestly.
I think many people did.
He did not.
So we started showboating, but we'll get to the finals anyway.
Yeah.
But anyway, some of the contestants leading up to that.
Yeah.
We've mentioned a few already.
Yeah, so a lot of Australians made it.
Yeah.
Which was cool.
Compared to their first year, right?
First year. They did well. Not very many Brazilians made it.
I don't think...
Usually the French do really well. They didn't do as good this time.
Oh, really? Yeah, because especially because climbing is huge in France.
Yeah.
And because like every single athlete...
Parkour is.
And parkour. Was where it basically was invented.
Yeah.
And so like, every single athlete was all like, oh, I've been climbing since I was a child. And you're like, yeah, you live in France.
Yeah. That Hector guy... The
Mexican, yeah.
He was the one, I think, that lost his hearing and his balance was all messed up, right?
Yeah. And then he got to battle back.
And then he battled back. That's so crazy. Yeah. I know you don't like those stories, but sometimes I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and then there was, like Devin was saying, there was that one American guy who he's like a CrossFit dad guy, and he has MS. He battled, and he does make it very far.
Yeah.
It was I honestly didn't think he was. He's always on the edge of elimination all the time.
All the time, yeah.
Yeah.
And in the semis, they had to do the whole course.
Yeah.
And they had one opportunity to use their extra life.
Yeah, they had one life, and they would go back to like certain checkpoints, but they lost the points they gained after that point.
Yeah.
So if they hit a thruster, it's gone.
Whatever, it's gone. Yeah. And he fails, and he chooses not to use his extra life.
Yeah.
And every other contestant that failed chose to use their extra life.
Yeah.
And it rubbed me the wrong way. But like I was saying, he does have MS.
Yeah.
He was probably not feeling that he could have done any better.
Yeah, but here was my main problem with that. It was like they should have made like a rule that it was like you can't make the finals unless you do level 1 at least, like because he fails in level 1.
He does,
and he still makes the finals. And
yeah,
because
and his reasoning is that he knows he can't do the mag wall.
Yeah, but it was like, come on.
I know. It just
that part rubbed me the wrong way because of course the other two people that made it out of the semifinals with him did like.
Didn't they go to like...
One guy made it almost the whole way distance, and then the other guy made it to like far in level 2 or whatever.
Yeah.
Or I think they both failed on... No, one guy made the jump, and then the other guy failed after the treadmills, I think it was, or something.
Right, yeah.
They at least cruised through level 1.
Yeah.
But any other contestants that stood out to you?
But I think I've talked about most of them.
Yeah, we mentioned them as we've gone.
I really liked, the Scottish guy was kind of interesting with his MMA background.
Yeah, and he's like
and he made it
MMA tattooed.
Yeah. He made it quite far for his background, being the only one basically with that background there.
Yes.
Mozzie the Aussie was great.
Yeah.
He was a surfer slash stuntman, which is cool. There's a couple stuntmen.
But I think the guy who won, wasn't he also a stuntman as well?
Yeah, the guy who won was...
Which we'll get to. He's British. Spoilers.
And I think he was in the army, and I don't remember anything else about him. Yeah. Other than he always looks sad.
Well, and then I love there was that other British guy who was like, always looked terrified.
Yeah.
And even though he's like concentrating or whatever, he just looks terrified.
Yeah.
It was hilarious.
You find that there's some backgrounds that do better than others. So
yes.
Climbers generally do pretty well.
Yeah.
Parkour do pretty well. There was 2 surfers, and I think they both did pretty well.
Yeah, I think the other Aussie guy was a surfer.
Yeah. Gymnasts do okay.
Yeah, like I said, I thought the one gymnast, she's a pole vaulter now.
She was
ex-gymnast, and she was the only woman to make level 2, and I thought she was going to do better. And yeah, I think even she did as well. She was disappointed in her result. And then there was like champion climber kids who failed like immediately, and it was like, dude, just embarrassing.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't remember too many others that really stood out to me.
But then on to the finals then?
On to the finals.
Anything else about the semis did you want to say?
I think it's insane that they were expected to do
all 3 of it.
Level 1, 2, and 3.
I do and I don't. I think the people that would train for like a Tough Mudder and those kind of heavy obstacle courses would be used to a longer course. And I think this is where just like you'd have to time yourself, because your time could become a factor.
Right.
Is that you would have to just know like, oh, okay, I'm a little gassed, I need to rest, and take those tactical rests.
Yeah.
But it almost never came into play because it was just people would just fail immediately, or the guys who made it would just like cruise through most of it. Right.
Yeah.
Like you were saying, Hector and the guy who eventually, where's his name? Corbin, the English guy, like who eventually takes it. They made it to like Viper Climb and almost did all 3 levels in one go. And I think maybe Hector did or something.
Yeah, I think Hector did.
Yeah. Or at least he made it all the way to Viper Climb. No, yeah, because he got the extra points. Anyway.
I don't know. It was insane. So the Aussie did well too. Oh no, that was in the finals when they did 1, 2, 3, and then climb.
So in the finals, there was some new obstacles, and then there was more elimination. Not more eliminations, but there was just like you gotta go.
So it was the top 6 that made it to the final, correct?
Yes.
And then they did levels 1, 2, and 3 again?
Yeah.
And then 1 person was cut from each level, correct?
I believe so, yes.
Until it was the top 3.
Until it was top 3, yeah.
Yeah. And Mozzie the Aussie, I just love him. I really wanted him to win.
Yeah.
He makes it through all 3.
Yeah. He does really well.
Yeah. Complete. Oh my god.
So in the level 1, they had a new obstacle was called Chain Drive, and this is what I was mentioning, where it was rotating chains.
Yeah.
It was off a bar or something like that.
Yeah, off a bar, and then onto a rotating chain, and
eventually
then
onto another bar.
Stationary chain, and then a rotating chain, and then a bar.
Yes.
And then mag wall.
And then onto the mag wall, yeah. Which, it was difficult. It was cool. Yeah, and then...
And then was it round 2 where they had the big round bungee things?
Yeah, they had something called Destabilizer, which I think was this,
That looked so hard. It looked hard. So easy, but it was so hard.
Yeah, it was like these big foam round things that were probably, maybe a foot round or 2 feet round?
And
you couldn't hold it.
They weren't stable. They rotated. Yeah. Well, they rotated if you...
Made them rotate. They were essentially attached all by bungee cords, like a success of like 10 to 12 of them, so then there was like points on them. But they were off angle, they weren't parallel, and they were like at different heights.
And there was like wider parts and narrower parts.
Yes.
And none of them were stable.
Mm-hmm.
And you had to jump onto one.
Yes.
Which almost none of them could do.
No, everyone was able to jump onto one.
Oh, okay.
No one was able to make the jump to the next one.
Except for
one guy. And it was crazy because his time was slower than the person in last place.
Right.
And they were like, if he doesn't make this jump, he's out.
Yeah.
And he makes the jump, holds it, and it was like, booyah, makes the finals because of that.
Yeah. It was insane.
He didn't make the next one, though.
No.
Yeah.
But didn't he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was really the main changes in the final. Otherwise, they just ran the same course, essentially.
Yeah.
With so that was one of my issues with the show, was I thought when it came to come to the finals, I thought the courses would be entirely different.
Yeah.
Maybe not Gearhead and the Lockjaw, because those are pretty big and you can't really move them. But the other stuff, I was like, what? Come on. Because here was something. Mm-hmm. I guess we have to mention our boy Hector. Everyone's boy Hector, little Mexican guy who could. His strategy was like, I'm gonna get. There was a lot of point thrusters in the final courses, more than any of them.
Super hard to get to.
They were difficult to get to, but he gets on the chain, gets one, and then there was one between the two jumps. Hits the one in the middle of the jump, and then failed on the jump because he was too far away to land correctly.
And he did it twice in a row.
Yeah. And people thought for sure that he would have done better. And his strategy almost worked. Yeah. But people got an extra try at the semis. So people were able to pass his score, essentially. Or no, he ran last because he was like basically first.
Yeah, that's right.
And he failed both times. No, someone ran after him. I can't remember.
Either way, he failed both times, and he was out.
Yeah, and then he was out.
Yeah.
Because in the finals as well, the points could really come into play, but because there was one thruster, I think, that everyone was hitting, and then someone skipped, and it was like, that could cost them, but they like completed the course. Yeah. Right? So there was some interesting strategy there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. A lot of the obstacles are the same from season 1 and season 2 as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, like I said, they mentioned like the deadbolts came back. I guess my point was, yes, I was hoping for more variation.
More variation. Yeah.
But I guess it takes time to build and set up and all that kind of stuff.
That's true. And I didn't mind so much because it was just like, let's see the top people
do this,
do it the best that they can, basically. Sure. Now that they've had a chance to like get familiar with it.
Yeah, and I guess there's also that part the familiarity with the course to know when to jump, when to do, and how to pace yourself and stuff like that. Then that's why they do have the one different one, except for level 3 in the finals. That was the exact same.
Yeah, but nobody really had beat level 3 at that point.
Exactly, so I wasn't I wasn't like, they should have switched that up. But the other 2 levels, I was like, I was hoping for a little more variation there.
I think they don't want it to be so easy that everyone beats it, and they don't want it to be so hard that nobody can beat it.
Absolutely, you want to balance it.
So I think maybe they kind of, by reusing a lot of the same obstacles, they can gauge how people are going to do.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Well, and then we forgot to mention, if you made the finals, you got 10K.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Yeah. So those
good for them.
Yeah, they all got 10K.
And then what's the winner? Was it 100,000 or 50,000?
50,000 for the winner. Right. And then basically they whittled it down until you had 3 people left for the finals.
So we have Mozzie the Aussie.
Mozzie the Aussie, yeah.
Max the German.
Climbing German who gets super anxiety and always feels like he's going to throw up.
There's so many times where he stops.
Yeah, he stops and everyone's like, yeah. And then you had Corbin.
The British guy without a personality.
He was very somber.
He was stoic.
He was reserved and stoic, yes. Yeah. He was military background and, you know, seen a lot kind of thing, so he kept it calm.
And that's kind of shitty of me to say, because he did say he had PTSD and that, like...
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
I know that they were saying that he lost his brother in the war as well, so...
And that, like... sport and climbing and helped him work through it. Yeah,
that's fair.
So that was bad of me to say. I'm sorry. You have all the personality.
He was very reserved, but and then so level 3, like I wasn't surprised by this last 3. Like if I like after seeing them and it was like I would probably have seeing the finals people, I would have been like, yeah, those 3 makes perfect sense. I didn't feel like the dreadlock Aussie guy was as good as those 3.
Oh no, he definitely wasn't. Yeah. I just liked him.
Yeah, no, he had some personality.
He had a good personality, and he was just like, every time I looked at him, I was like, this is the most gorgeous man.
He's pretty jacked.
And he was just beautiful. But he was the one that had the fashion line.
He was a designer, yeah.
And then that French guy that was a model.
Yeah.
Oh my god, him too. Every time I looked at him, I'm like, he looks like he would be an asshole, but he's so beautiful. The most beautiful man.
Nice. Let's see here. So course 4, I thought it had some cool things because they could choose different things to do.
Routes, yeah.
Different routes. And I liked the point system in that there was just 3 mega thrusters and they just started counting down and it was like whenever you hit it, that's what the points you got. And I was like, that's cool. Because then it was like not about anything else and it was just like, you just got to get these point thrusters when you get them.
Totally.
So I liked that part about the level 4 and they were all just going to run it and whoever had the most points wins. And I was like,
basically,
cool.
Yeah.
So it started, let's see, it was called Ricochet, they called it.
So it's like a V going up, and they have to kind of like climb and then jump and then climb and then jump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they could choose from there something called full tilt or drop point.
Full tilt was the big blocky things that kind of moved, right?
Yeah, which is the one that everyone took, so I never even got to see the other one.
What was it? Drop point? What was that?
I thought that one was full tilt. I don't know. I forget what it was. But no one took it. It doesn't matter.
Wait, was that the bridge? No, because Corbin took the bridge.
The bridge is later.
Yeah.
The bridge is after. So they had to do a peg wall, which I think you was familiar with. A peg wall is you had to hold on to pegs and then you climb up a wall and take them out as you go. But this peg wall was very generous in that there was footholds on the way.
Yes.
Most peg walls I've seen, no footholds.
And in season 1 and 2... No, season 1 didn't have it. Season 1, the final was just climbing up the biggest...
thing ever.
Like climbing wall ever, and the first one to the top one.
Oh, nice. So I'm glad the way they did this format was.
Yeah, season 2 had a peg wall, and I don't think it had footholds.
Yeah, I feel like this one was a generous peg wall, but it made sense because you wouldn't be super gassed by the end here. Because then after that, it was called Razor's Edge or Vertigo, which is what Devin was talking about. There was a small bridge of like.
Plexiglass,
I guess. And they were like a foot wide-ish.
And they were tippy.
And it was just on a bungee cord and that was it.
Yeah.
And I was actually shocked that both Max and Corbin took that. And then...
Oh, did Max take it too?
Yeah, and Mozzie the Aussie, he did the Razor's Edge, which was a big long beam that had like an in-cut groove.
That's right.
And he just kind of shimmied along it. And he did it well, like using his arms and legs and kept really balanced.
He just lost some time.
Yeah, that was the only reason he didn't
I wanted him to win.
And then there was the final climb, and then they had a choice. This was weird to me. So there was a rope climb, a chimney climb where you have to press in and climb up, or an I-beam climb, which got successively smaller.
Yes.
And then the announcers were like, oh, like one's longer, one's shorter. And I was like, isn't it just easier to climb a rope? I don't...
See, that's what I thought too. I'm like,
and then all 3 did the I-beam.
Yeah. I'm like, the I-beam seems like it would be the hardest, but they were like, that would be the fastest.
I guess because you can like maintain quicker, but if you have enough upper body, you can just like sail up a rope, right?
Yeah, I guess maybe because you can use your feet on the I-beam.
But you can use your feet on a rope too.
Correct.
Yeah, like I said, I was unsure, but I guess everyone was comfortable, and all 3 did the I-beam.
Yeah.
And I was shocked. Max, he's wearing this like almost Converse shoes.
I didn't even notice.
I noticed that. I was like, what is this kid wearing? He's not even like everyone else was in like some kind of runners.
Yeah.
He's in just like Converse. He was
maybe it's a very, very expensive German climbing shoe.
It's quite possible.
Yeah.
It had like quite the sole though.
Yeah, and all 3 of them made it.
Yeah.
Which was impressive.
I was very shocked. I thought for sure someone was going down off that.
Yeah, I thought Corbin was going to bail on the plexiglass bridge.
He almost did. He fell over and then managed to recover.
I thought he was going to hard bail.
Yeah.
And then I also thought, I
thought he was going down on the I-beam because he didn't have a climbing background.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
He was like, and then I was like, dude, it's a freaking I-beam.
Yeah. It's because it was Mozzie went first.
Mozzie the Aussie went first, and then he got 1,175 points. So the first point thruster was just before peg wall. Mm-hmm. The second one was after Razor's Edge / Vertigo. Then the last one was at the top.
Yeah. And then, so he went, and then Max
went, and he got 1,225 points, which I was like, whoa, that is a monster score.
Yeah. And then Corbin went.
And he got 1,244.
And he won.
And he taken the win.
And I thought, watching it, I'm like, I thought, oh my gosh, Mozzie's won it. He completed the course. The other 2 aren't going to be able to complete the course.
Yeah, for a moment there, I thought about that, but then Max looked so comfy on it. I was like,
and then Max went, and then I'm like, oh, there's no way Corbin's going to beat Max.
Yeah, that's what I thought for sure.
Yeah,
I feel like there might have been some editing to make it look like, because Corbin had a couple missteps.
He had a couple stumbles.
And whereas it looked like Max sailed right through it, but I guess he just wasn't going as fast.
Yeah, that's what comes down to it. I guess the speed.
Or, well, it looked like he struggled a bit on the peg wall thruster, I think it was.
That's right. It took him a long time to get that.
To get back up, I think it was. He was like hanging off of there for a while.
Yeah, and that probably cost him the win.
Probably, yeah. Because, I mean, if you equate like time with seconds, they're like 20 seconds apart, essentially, right?
I think that Mozzie could have won if he had done the bridge instead of the
quite possible
vertigo.
Yeah,
because I think that's what slowed him down.
It was the only thing he did differently, and I think it was the only thing where he wasn't going fast.
Yeah,
everything else he was just going. Yeah, it was full tilt except for that one thing. But I think he maybe. I don't know if, again, they were able to see ahead of time. Like, he probably thought the bridge was more unstable than it might have been. Because it looked more stable than I thought it was. And I was like, oh, man. Like, when Max went up to cross it, I was like, oh, I thought that thing was going to be just, like, wobbly as shit and everyone was just going to bail.
I think maybe Mozzie chose to do the other one because he's so tall.
Yeah, he definitely can use his legs.
Like, center of gravity is so much higher than the other two.
Oh, Max German, he was tall too.
Was he tall? He just looked short.
He was definitely over 6 feet. But I think Mozzie was just like 6'5", basically, 6'7" or something crazy. So he just looked super tall.
Maybe Max just acted short.
Yeah, maybe. Well, and then of course Max gets to the top, hits it, and everyone's all cheering, and then he throws up.
Did he throw up? I missed that.
Oh, it was funny because they blurred it as well, and all the announcers are all like, "He's doing it!"
Nice.
And then, Corbin, the English guy, made the best time, got the best score.
Yeah, and he won it. And he wasn't. I wanted Mozzie to win.
Yeah. I was rooting for Max. Deep down. I was like, I like Corbin, but I was like, Max clearly has the skills, but.
Seasons 1 and 2 were won by like a Max type.
Yeah.
Yeah, seasons 1 and 2 were won by climbers.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I heard it was like you said, Korea versus Brazil, I think it was, and then I don't know what season 2 was, but I think like you were saying, it was just like a climb off, so that's not shocking.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that they retooled it to
be a little bit more fair.
Yeah, or like different varying backgrounds could get in there.
Korean climber was like the world champion ice climber that like won it.
Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's interesting. It was. I did enjoy it.
It was better than you thought it would be.
It was definitely better than I thought. But to be fair, I did skip many of the profile things and everything, and I just kind of be like, and on to the obstacle course. But
would you watch seasons 1 and 2 now?
I thought about it, but then
like in the background if you're doing something else.
Maybe, but what you've been telling me, it sounds like season 3 was better made.
Yeah, it was the best season.
Yeah,
so far.
It was kind of dialed in a lot better, and I liked the format comparatively to other shows like Ninja Warrior or what have you, where it's just like they just run it and whoever kind of wins. I like this tournament style because then you got to see the same person come back and you're like, come on, buddy.
Yeah.
What do you got this next time around? Like I said, they're more familiar, so you're like you expect them to cruise it.
And I like that you get to watch all the contestants watching the contestants and cheering on their like countrymen.
Yeah, no, and that aspect of it was quite cool as well. Like, the international.
Also, did you not love that one guy's Italian brother?
No.
They showed him so many times.
Yeah.
He was the most Italian-looking man. Like, if you Google Italian man, his picture would come. He had a mustache. It was curly. He had the glasses on and the dark hair. Yeah. He was great. I was happy they kept showing him.
Well, and like you said, it was great that they always cut to like some of the announcers of the home countries, talking a bit, or they'd be like, "We have our tequila. We're encouraging our Mexican brother." Right? So.
Can I ask you something? You can tell me if I sound crazy.
Okay.
So every time they showed that American with MS, his family, like his wife and his kids, and then there was always one other woman there. Do you think that they were Mormon and that was his other wife, or do you think that was like their nanny?
I know. I thought it said it was like the wife's sister.
Oh, okay. I missed that because I kept wondering if it was like his other wife, but like not like primary wife. So that's why he didn't.
No, I think it said there was like sister or something along those lines as well. So. Because of course it's filmed in just outside of LA.
Yeah.
So if Americans could come there to see
it's easier for them to get there.
Yeah, far easier than others. So.
This is Mormon way.
Yeah, also possible.
Yeah. I don't know. They could have been from Salt Lake City. Who knows?
Yeah. So and then like we said, so Corbin got $50K for winning it.
Yeah.
Which, good on him.
And the rest of them got taken.
Yeah, well, and it took a while before they even announced that there was like a prize. And I was like, are these people just running for the hell of it? Which I was like, okay, cool, you know, because people do that. Like I was saying, like most Extreme Elimination Challenge or at Takeshi's Castle, I think it was just for the hell of it in Japan to kill some time, right? Like, same thing with the Unbeatable Banzuke. I think they just did it.
Yeah.
And Ninja Warrior originally as well, but as it got bigger,
it got prize money.
Well, I don't know if it got prize money, but I definitely know that like some of the guys started opening up like training camps for people.
Oh,
like, there was the one guy who was like a fisherman, and he won it like. We were one of the only people to win Ninja Warrior, the Japanese version, more than once. And then, like, so he opened up, like, a training center and stuff like that.
Oh,
so
cool.
It's one of those things, I kind of think about a little bit about it with climbing as well. As soon as something becomes a competition, then people, like, dial in and, like, okay, how do I train for this? How do I become better at this? And then it's like, it's not just like amateurs anymore, and that's fine. But then it also starts eventually cutting people out that it's like, oh, you're not going to be able to do it if you're not good enough, right? So it just is one of the things that happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. Any
I don't know. I really like the show. I think that people should watch it because it's entertaining.
It was definitely entertaining, and from what I understand, it's one of the first or only reality series that Netflix has done.
Oh, I have no idea.
I think it was the first one that they did.
That's cool.
Because most of their stuff, of course, is like a TV show.
Yeah.
It's not a reality-based thing, right?
Yeah.
So.
Just occurred to me that I never checked to see which mic. It's the right mic. Never mind. We're fine.
Yeah. Because that's happened. Yeah. No, not just you. Remember, it happened with the Game of Thrones ones. Yeah.
The Game of Thrones. The Lost Game of Thrones episode.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really have much else to say. Like I said, maybe a little more variety, but I understand why not. Especially after you were just mentioning that about how, like, you know, then they get familiar with it, so they can kind of cruise it a little
better. So they
can
do it better.
Yeah. But then I don't know if the scoring system could be altered to incorporate more like what they did for the finals into just the normal rounds.
Oh, that would be cool.
Because it was just kind of like, oh, they made the jump 5 points, and you're like, okay, and then it's like, and then they would fail, and you're like, the only separation was just like their time, and it was like, I kind of liked the countdown timer factor to be like, you could put those at the end of, you know, 2 obstacles, and it's like, you gotta get there and blam, hit it, right? And I kind of like that.
The way it is, I still am riveted when I watch it.
Okay,
I'm like into it.
That's fair. Well, and
glued to my computer.
And they do like occasionally, especially in the when there's like the 9, and I guess all 3 people, they're just like, oh, we'll show you 3 people and they just immediately fail on something, right?
Yeah.
And it's like they have no chance. Oh, and I did like their sign off, because most of the time with shows they're always like, you know, join us next week, and then this one they're just like, coming up in a few seconds, you can watch the next round, and I was like, oh, that's kind of funny because it's true.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Cool.
I would recommend it.
Yeah, like I said, I did enjoy it for the most part.
If you like watching muscly people do things that are amazing, you should watch them.
Yeah.
Should we sign off?
I believe so.
All right. Well, you can find us everywhere there are podcasts.
Nice.
Yes. So rate and review us on iTunes. Also go to the website, tomeofuselessness.com. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. I forgot that I made a page.
Yeah, nice.
And I post every day now.
Nice.
So that's cool. I might even interact with you. Maybe.
Very nice.
I try to.
Okay.
What else? Anything else?
I think that's it.
Selling our merch. Buy our merch.
Yeah. That doesn't exist yet.
I'm just kidding. We don't have any.
Thanks for listening.
Have a good day, night, life.
Yeah, exactly. Join us next time.
Bye.